American Warrior Radio. Today is a great day to be an American. This is your radio program. Whether you're a veteran of the military or on active duty, maybe you're a family member of a vet or active duty soldier, sailor, airman, or Marine, or maybe you're just a patriotic American that wants to get involved in supporting our troops. You know what? You've come to the right place. American Warrior Radio, right here on the Talk to Me station, WMEL, brought to you by AVET Project. As you all know, my name is Garen Cohn. I'm the president and founder of AVET Project, an Air Force veteran myself, as well as a retired legal advocate for veterans. But as always, I'm not flying through the airwaves alone.
Yeah, good morning. As always, I'm still Glenn McGuffey, manager of your Brevard County Veteran Services team. And we got a really super show for you lined up today. We got a very special guest. I would like to ask for your help for us, and that's we're jam-packed today with information for you that's very important in the healthcare field for you.
So grab a paper and a pen.
Yeah, absolutely, as always. And we won't have enough time for call-ins, but as always, you can call me if you've got questions next week.
What number is that?
And you can call me at 633-2012. 633-2012, or come see us. We're out at the County Government Center in Viera, Bravo building, first floor. Can't miss us. Signs all over the place says Veteran Services this way, because they don't want you walking in their offices, so everybody helped out and put signs up for us.
So folks, today and today only, we want to restrict it to no phone calls because we've got a lot to cover, and we have a special guest.
Yeah.
We happen to have none other than Dr. Vehec, which is a man who's come out here and privileged us with his presence because he's got the lowdown on a new program, maybe not so new, but we're going to get into that. Say hello, Doc.
Hey, how are you?
Is all right that we call you Ken?
Well, I've been Ken a lot longer than I've been doctor, so that works for me.
Fantastic. We're going to talk about a program that you are the coordinator for, at least here in Florida. MyHealtheVet.
MyHealtheVet, yes.
We're excited to find out a lot more about that, but let's get some background and some bio on you.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Well, we know you're working with the VA. What have you done prior to this? Have you got a military background?
Oh, my, yeah. 11-year Navy vet. I was a submarine sailor. Actually rode 2 boats through NO2 over here at the Cape, where we went out and did demonstration and shakedown launches, launched a couple of Polaris missiles and Poseidon missiles up through the air, and watched them come back down about 2,500 miles away. And,
impressive, and that was out here at NO2. What time period were you in the service?
Let's see, 77 through 88.
Tell them what NO2 means, Ken.
Oh, Naval Ordnance Testing Unit.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know that exists out at the Cape, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that go on out there a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, back in the fun days.
Okay, so you're a submariner.
Submariner.
And what happened after that? You got out of the Navy?
Well, I didn't get out. I was actually, they told me they didn't want me anymore. I was thrown out.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, no, I was involved in a missile tube explosion, unfortunately, and received a traumatic brain injury. Had a lot of recovery time, and was put out with a medical discharge. So after that, I did a lot of retraining as far as the brain went. Had to get into a lot of therapy. Had to learn how to read, write, walk, talk, do all that stuff all over again.
So, Doc, what you're telling me is this TBI, you mentioned traumatic brain injury,
correct,
which is what our troops over in Afghanistan and Iraq are encountering on a daily basis. It's been around for a long time.
It's been around for a long time, but it's now becoming known as the signature wound of these wars right now. Because
of the concussive blasts from the IEDs?
Exactly.
But you were a missile silo inside a submarine and this
correct.
happened?
Yeah. And a terminal box cover flew off the tube, hit me in the head, smashed me into the panels. It just wasn't a lot of fun.
So that's what happened to you.
Yeah, that's why I look the way I do. That's why I do radio.
Yeah.
Got a face for radio.
Face for radio. Here we go.
Positive message here for everybody out there, since that is, as a matter of fact, the signature wound of our combat operations, the war going on, global war against terrorism, is your success story. I mean, hey folks, there's hope out there. If you've been afflicted with traumatic brain injury and you might be just starting the process, don't give up. Stay in there.
Well, I kind of adopted a motto a long time ago when the doctor started telling me what I couldn't do, and I decided not to believe them. So you should never let anybody tell you what you can't do.
Excellent. Great advice. And as a success story, it didn't stop there, though. So you encountered all this nonsense with a medical discharge. What happened next in your career?
After that,
because you've got an interesting, colorful past here.
Yeah,
I'm looking over your resume.
I've done a whole bunch of things. A lot of it's attributed to short attention span theater. That's me. I've had carpet cleaning companies. I've had video production companies, photography companies. I did a whole bunch of other things as far as pizza shops, beauty salons. I'm a stand-up comic. I've been one for, I started that when I was 15. Picked that back up after I was able to perform again. It's one of the things that actually got me thinking properly again and thinking quicker was getting on stage and helping my recovery. So after that, I went into radio.
I was going to say, you're not unfamiliar with radio either.
No, not at all. I was a morning drive DJ at an alternative radio station in Pittsburgh for about 3 years.
Go Steelers.
Oh, go Steelers. Cut me, I bleed black and gold.
That's it.
Born and raised in that area.
Well, the interesting thing is you've propelled yourself into this career with the VA, but where did it all start? You mentioned that you were medically discharged, so you had a lot of roadblocks to overcome, and you powered through. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was one of those deals where not a lot of people know about this when they become veterans, that if you have a disability, that you can go through what's called the vocational rehabilitation program, where the VA will send you to school. They'll assess you to find out what your likes, dislikes, and what your capabilities are. And then they will pay for the schooling. They'll pay you to go to school. They'll also give you a stipend to allow you to go ahead and get paper, pens, pencils, things like that. And then they'll monitor you and assist you as you go through the school program. And that's what happened to me. I moved to Florida. I was doing cartoon voices for Disney at the time when all the decisions and everything came through. And they said, here, we want you to go to school. They said, what do you want to be? And I said, oh, I want to be a doctor. And they said, okay, sure, right, go ahead. And
Glenn, what are some of the qualifiers for Voc Rehab? He's talking about this program. A lot of our audience may not be familiar.
Yeah, that's good information you need to know out there. For Voc Rehab, if you go online, it'll say you can apply at 10%, but the rules say that if it's 10%, it must pose a serious handicap to your ability to gain substantially gainful employment. Really, I've never hardly ever seen anybody at 10% approved for Voc Rehab. If you're 20% service-connected or greater, then your service-connected disability only has to pose an obstacle to your employment. So pretty much you can get into the program at 20%, and like the good doc was saying, they do a thorough assessment on you, get your desires, and then get you enrolled in either a course of formal education or on-the-job training or whatever it takes to overcome the obstacle presented by your service-connected disability or disabilities, with the end goal of getting you employed despite your service-connected disabilities. And it's a great program.
Right. It's not just about getting a college education. Nope. It's about a vocational goal that you have in mind. If you're 20% service-connected disabled or greater, there are special qualifiers for 10% if you've got a severe employment handicap and some other issues that factor in, but 20% is pretty much the minimum threshold. Definitely. So you went through Voc Rehab.
Went through Voc Rehab. And something else, Glenn, you might not be aware of, the regulations, the CFR, our government regulations state, according to Voc Rehab, that they need to train you up to the minimum entry level for whatever position you're going for. And at the time, I was going to be a mental health counselor, so therefore, they provided education for me all the way up through the master's.
Excellent point. Thank you.
Okay.
And on your resume here, obviously you have your doctorate, but you're also a licensed mental health counselor.
Licensed mental health counselor, also certified in hypnotherapy.
That's what the CHT stands for, Certified Hypnotherapist.
Yes.
Impressive. So
We have one.
through Voc Rehab, you went through, you graduated, you got your master's, and then what happened?
Well, all through this time period of me going to school, which was from 95 on, I was through the Voc Rehab program. I was actually working as what's considered a work study at the vet centers. And the listeners are familiar with what vet centers were designed for. It's for readjustment counseling for people who had boots on the ground. So I was actually just answering phones, making copies, doing that stuff while I was working my way through school. And one day I was
gives you a few extra bucks. It's tax-free.
It's tax-free, so it's actually like making $2 above minimum wage because they don't take the taxes out of it. So
sure.
It provides enough. And I was captivated one day, just transformed, basically. I was actually going to be, trying to study to be a politician, which I don't know how much studying there is for that. But anyway.
See, he is a comedian, folks. Don't forget that.
No comment.
But I was there one day when a gentleman came in crisis. And
at the vet center, you were working as a work study.
And I watched as the counselor took him into the office. I stayed out and dealt with the family, who were obviously very concerned about their family member. I made the arrangements to get the transportation from the vet center to the VA hospital to get the person transferred over to Tampa for the services they needed. And it was so rewarding that it was at that moment, sort of, like that light bulb thing comes on. And, all of a sudden it's like, I really don't think I want to lie for a living and be a politician, so I switched careers. And from that point on, I decided that counseling was what I wanted to do.
Right.
And you'd worked as a work study at the vet center, which kind of aligned you with your ambitions and your goals, too, helping other vets through their crises and what have you. Glenn, you've got a couple folks out of your office that happen to be in the work study program, yes?
Yes, it's a great program. If you're enrolled in college and under either the old Montgomery Chapter 30 GI Bill or the new Chapter 33 post 9/11 GI Bill,
or Voc Rehab,
or Voc Rehab, I just picked one up through that program,
or Chapter 35,
or yes,
lots of opportunities.
Lots of opportunities. In fact, I had Garen's wife working for me for a while under Chapter 35, the Dependents Education Assistance Program, and like Ken was saying over there, it pays minimum wage, but it's tax-free. It's not counted as income, so you don't have to report it on your income tax report. You have to be enrolled 3/4 time or greater with the education institution. It pays you a stipend based on the hours you work. The hours you work are computed on the workload you have at school or the hours you can work. Excellent program. A way to get some training, in our case, in our job, and veteran service assistance help for people. It might lead to a future job as a veteran service officer, either for the VA or for a county somewhere.
Get your feet wet in veterans law.
Get your feet wet, and since we lost our secretary position several years ago, it's actually bailing us out because we need somebody who can be an upfront presence for us, establish that relationship with the veteran when they come in, be the receptionist, the table setter, if you will, and these people are marvelous at helping us do that amongst the myriad of other things we ask and get help from them to do.
So again, a perfect example is that you did this as you were gaining your education and achieving your goals. You were a work study. So, folks, it works. It really does work.
I went from being a work study at the vet center to doing my internship at the vet center to becoming a temporary employee where I was hired only for the last quarter of like 3 years, and then turning into a temporary employee full-time for a year or 2 years, and then became an actual full-time government employee at the vet center. So I went from work study to employee all the while I was going through school, and I actually obtained my doctorate while I was at the vet centers.
Talk about climbing the ladder. And your PhD, what's that in?
It is in education, counseling,
Again, a natural fit for what you're doing now.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your title currently?
I am the MyHealtheVet coordinator for the VAMC Orlando, which encompasses...
So you're a healthy vet? Is that what I'm
Yeah, that's it. Look at me. I'm just a big beefy guy here. Yeah.
MyHealth
MyHealth E. Emphasis on the E. So electronically, I look good.
I look better electronically myself.
So as such, and that's really what we want to get into. I know we're going to be coming to a break at the bottom of the hour, but let's talk a little bit about this. We've heard enough about your background now. We want to know what you're doing today.
All right.
MyHealtheVet. This is a across-the-board program with the VA?
It's a national program. It's been in the process of being rolled out for actually about 10 years. It was started off as a pilot program, and then the last 5 years, though, it's turned into a nationally developed program where we have MyHealtheVet coordinators like myself throughout the United States at every facility throughout wherever the VA facilities are.
Now, these are VHA, Veterans Health Administration, or VBA, the benefit side of the house too?
VHA.
Okay,
This
VHA.
is the VHA program.
So they may be able to locate one if we're in North Dakota listening to the American Warrior Radio right now. They probably do have a MyHealtheVet coordinator there.
Yeah, and if their hospital situation is and their PAOs are as good as ours.
PAO,
Public Affairs Officer.
Okay.
All right. They placed the MyHealtheVet for Orlando on our homepage, so they can go right to there and link onto that and be able to look up the program. So they can go right to their own VA's website and be able to find MyHealtheVet.
Well, before we go any further, let's throw this out for the local audience here. Now, folks are listening from Afghanistan to Oregon, but if you're local here on the Space Coast in Brevard County, Florida, or in Central Florida, or anywhere in Florida, where can they go right now to see what we're talking about if they want to hop online?
If they want to look at the Orlando VAMC's website, it's www.orlando.va.gov. Now, if you want to go just look at MyHealtheVet, well, then that's www.myhealth.va.gov.
MyHealth.va.gov.
Correct. That's the national site. That gets you right into where you can register, and the whole process takes 10 minutes. It's a one-page biographic or demographic sheet. You make up a password and a username, click, and you're in.
It's an impressive program. I'm enrolled myself, and you did an upgrade for me recently after we had.
How long did that take, by the way?
Seconds, honestly. It's a neat program. Now, it's been in the works for some time, and it kind of like stalled out.
Yes.
But now we've gone to the next phase. Now we've really plugged in.
Yeah, the VA is finding that and moving more towards electronic record maintenance. The nice thing about this site is that it's giving the veterans more access and more control and more input over their own health records. They're able to go see their lab work. They're able to go and look at pending appointments that are coming up. Within the next year, they're going to be rolling it out so that the veterans will be able to go ahead and download all their progress notes. There is just so much that's becoming available. Plus, it's portable. There's a feature called the blue button where someone can go ahead and take a thumb drive, put it into their computer, download all their records, and if they're going on vacation, they've got it with them. Something happens, here, this is me.
Okay, well, we're jumping right in here to the MyHealtheVet. This is a program that the Veterans Health Administration has introduced that's primarily providing greater access for the veterans to communicate with their caregivers.
Correct.
And along with a host of other stuff, which we'll get to, but that is the nuts and bolts of it.
That's the nuts and bolts. And not just that, but a more control over their own health care. More input and a more proactive status rather than I'm going to sit in the waiting room, wait for the doctor to call me back, and then go back. Now you can go in armed with all this information and be as proactive with your own health care as you want to be or as you need to be.
And for all those folks out there that are retired military, like Glenn is, you may say, I don't need this. I don't even need to listen to this program because it's not going to benefit me. Not necessarily true.
Not necessarily true, no. Even if you don't use the VA, the website for MyHealtheVet is a very interesting website. It's like a WebMD, where you can go in, if you have a certain condition, you can go in there, type in a search engine, and it'll pop up all that vetted information. Now, vetted means that it's been looked at by the docs. This isn't something you're going to find, on Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that you're going to get real-time, real-life information on whatever conditions it is. If you need to look up medications, if you want to keep your own personal health record outside of the VA, the ability is there. And then now, especially since Google Med is now going away, you can't do that on there anymore. The only place that you could do that is through MyHealtheVet.
So for somebody that's in the audience right now, and they're a veteran, but let's say they've never engaged the VA, because there's a whole lot of folks that haven't. Mm-hmm. What would be the first step?
Well, the first step is to go onto the website, log in, and register for a username.
Now, they've never had any communication with the VA at any level.
Doesn't matter.
Just pop right onto the website.
Pop onto the website, go ahead, fill out the demographic form, and register.
myhealth.va.gov.
Yep.
So somebody in the audience right now that you're listening, we're going to be going to a break here in a moment, but check it out. Yeah. It's easy enough.
And again, you don't have to even be a veteran to use this site.
Did y'all hear that? Explain real quick.
Real quick. You do not have to be a veteran to use this site. Veterans get a special level of access to the site, of course, to their VA information. But the records and all the information is available for anyone who wants to use it.
Fantastic. We're going to be talking a lot more about MyHealtheVet with Dr. Ken Vehec from the Orlando VA Medical Center. Glenn and I will be back in a moment. Folks, we want you to hold your calls, but we want you to have your pen and paper out because this is important information. The good doc has already thrown out a website that's going to benefit you. Stay tuned. We'll be back after the break here on American Warrior Radio on WMEL, the Talk to Me station.